Everybody, how many of you were getting discounts for your broadband for the past 3.5 years through this program of $86 billion helping Americans in rural areas afford high-speed connectivity? Because you remember during the shutdown, schools were closed, people were having to do business at home, and we realized that America was like the dark ages and nobody had high-speed internet. Why? One, because the companies wouldn't bring it out here because most people in rural areas in America are poor, and the cost would have been astronomical to run it miles and miles just for one house. However, they did pass it, and for the past 3.5 years, millions of Americans in over 8 states were getting high-speed internet. We could get Wi-Fi, guys. We were able to get streaming services for the first time. It was amazing, right? I mean, like, I really liked it. I got mine through Spectrum here in Southeast Louisiana. Well, here's where I'm going with this story. All of a sudden, the program stops, and I get a bill from Spectrum. I'm used to paying $35 a month for high-speed, unlimited Wi-Fi. For the first time ever, living out in the country for 8 years, I finally got affordable, good internet. And now they're charging me $89 a month. I don't get the discount anymore. So I started digging around. I'm like, why am I not getting it? Congress decided, hey, guess what? We don't need to give you guys that money anymore, those grants anymore. Like, we're going to stop the program. If you want to pay for it or don't. So a lot of my neighbors now no longer have that. Because for people on a fixed income, $86 a month is a make it or break it sometimes. Folks, you know, you've been there. You are there. So the point of this story is really short. So I started digging around. I'm like, why did they take it away? And then I found this.
In 2021, Vice President Harris agreed to lead the administration's signature $42 billion effort to extend internet service to millions of Americans. It's now been 1,039 days since that program was enacted. After all of that time, not one person has been connected to the internet. Not one home, not one business. Not even one shovel worth of dirt has been turned.
Did you vote? Are you gonna vote? Will you ask people that you know to vote, please? And will you ask them to vote for me? Thank you.
I researched last night because let me tell you something, younger folks. They taught you guys how to memorize, but they didn't teach you how to research. As I kept asking, who started the connectivity grants? Like, who gave us this grant money? Which president? Because it started in 2021. Come to find out, it is a Trump-era policy coming through the USDA Rural Development. He set that money up, and it ran for almost 4 years. And when it's time to up it again, they canceled it, literally causing millions of Americans to not be connected to the bigger world. Now, my question's this. Obviously, Kamala got a whole lot more money. I just showed you the clip. I just showed it to you. And not one American business got reconnected with all that money. Where is it?
A constitutional republic, not a democracy. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty. A democracy always degenerates into dictatorship, which promises government-guaranteed equality and security, but it delivers nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules. America was founded as a constitutional republic to safeguard the liberties of the people against the tyranny of democracy or of one-man dictatorship. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic into a democracy. The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, the totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of our principles of government.
Let me tell you why Trump was able to take 80 million and give over 23 million American families discounted and or free high-speed Wi-Fi. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had 42 billion and couldn't do the same thing. They required any state or county or tribal community that accepted this money to give hiring preference to people who had criminal backgrounds, illegal aliens, DEI hires, and then they said, you must hire somebody that's a Teamster. In other words, they have to be part of a labor union. You have to offer the jobs to them first. Then you have to meet all these insane Green New Deal requirements to make it safe for the environment. You have to do all of that while accepting it. And then people have to apply, companies, for the mini grants after meeting all those requirements and then wait for the money. So what ended up happening was companies backed out. States took the money and the company said, no, I'm good, thanks. I don't want your money. Because what you're requiring me to do is going to give me not the best employees, but possibly people I wouldn't normally hire because they don't have the skill set. And they're going to force me into crazy regulations that don't make any sense. And the thing that got me the most, you guys, the one that just kind of blew my mind. You had to give them a preferred rate of pay. In other words, you couldn't say, okay, you've got 2 years of experience, so I'm going to start you at $20. That's a good rate of pay. An hour, I'm talking. Or you're a new employee, you have no experience, so I'm going to start you at $14, or I'm going to start you at minimum wage, and you can work your way up. No, that's not good enough for Biden and Harris. You had to pay them top pay. They don't have a broadband pay rate, so they would have had to use a different industry's pay rate, which might have said $40 an hour for somebody that normally wouldn't be making but 18. Do you guys see the problem when you take things and do it like this? That's two different administrations with two different huge amounts of money. One president was able to do it with a quarter of the amount of money immediately. No regulation. Here's the money. Get it done. That's Trump. Then you've got Biden and Harris with all their little special groups and people that voted for them. We got to make sure that we give back to our community, Joe. And nothing's been done. In fact, they're saying it could be as far as 2030 before that money and the broadband is up and running. 2030, folks. We're in 2024. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Do you guys want your country to turn into a third world country? Because that's what's happening, baby. I'm just like mind blown. When I read these articles, I was literally sick to my stomach. Because it's just, this is not how you run a country. It's not how you do business. They don't have the skill set. Neither Joe didn't have it. He wasn't in his right mind. And Kamala has no skill set to run this country. None at all. That's the reality. The reality is she's got Marxist beliefs. And when you give the federal government the money and then allow them to pick and choose and demand how that money's spent, nothing gets done. The red tape is too thick. Guys, less regulation equals more business, not the other way around. What does she do that makes you guys want to vote for her? Because she claims she's black? She's not. She's Jamaican. That's not black. I mean, like, if you're going to be politically correct, get it right. But my thing is this, guys. When you research, be very careful, because when I first started looking into this, they kept directing it back to Biden and Kamala like they had done something great for the American people, when in all actuality, it was their administration that canceled it, and their administration that basically stole a whole lot of money, and we don't know where it is now. So thanks, Kamala, for ending our discount on our high-speed internet. Thank you, Jesus, that me and mine could afford it. But for all my rural black neighbors and white elderly people that couldn't, shame on you.